So we woke up to quite a surprise this morning. So that's the COVID-19 receiving tent, I guess. There's still huge fires burning outside of Portland. They're being evacuated and they're all coming to this hospital. So it's just a very weird predicament we're in right now. We hope we're doing the right thing. We're here.
So this is what I took out. Cheese. So this is what I took out. It's the pressure reducing valve. And this is what I put in.
Oh, it's all shiny.
It actually only took me about a minute to take this out, but what I didn't realize is that there was no access to screw the water pipe onto this. I had to disassemble this entire bay. So it ended up taking me an hour to get it back together.
No, you can't hold the camera.
Where's Mama?
There's Mommy. Mommy in the book.
Yeah.
This morning we're pretty excited because we're about to head to a state park. So far in our travels, state parks have been our favorite campgrounds. At least in our experience, state parks rarely have sewer. But you know what? We're getting really good at camping without sewer. First of all, we have a composting toilet, so we don't have a black tank anymore. Also, we've really learned how to minimize the gray water that we're accumulating. We have all these tricks on how to do dishes and how to brush our teeth and how to take showers while minimizing the amount of gray water that goes into our tank. So we have 4 days at South Beach State Park, and that's in Newport. There's a half-mile path to the beach, and also there's grassy fields. It's gonna be great for kids. The one thing is, it looks like our particular campsite might be a little tricky to get into. I tried to change it to an easier campsite, but everything's totally booked. That's one thing that we're coming across, is everything's pretty much booked up almost all the time right now. So we're struggling to get campsites, but that's just another challenge to add to our adventure. So it turns out it was hard to get into our site, so I went to call to see if there were last-minute cancellations at any other sites that might be easier. In the meantime, Michael was able to back up and get into it, but there was a last-minute cancellation at a really good site over here by overflow parking, so there's no neighbor, and it's got 2 climbing trees and all sorts of good stuff. So we ended up moving anyway. Oh, here's Michael now, backing up the Airstream into our new prime site. Do you like our new site, guys?
Yeah, but it's not a climbing. What's the other one?
This is totally a climbing tree.
No, it's not.
Do you guys hear that noise? I think it might be a lighthouse or a boat. That means we're right by the beach.
It's disgusting. Here, hold my fennec fox.
Okay, let's keep fennec fox right here. Good thing he's got a jacket on. Oh, wow, that's a cool tree. So is this what you meant by a climbing tree?
Yeah. I don't want to leave this campground ever again.
Why not, Lyndon?
Because it's the best.
Should we leave this campsite?
No.
Be careful. It's a pretty great campsite.
And they can take naps right now.
No, no way.
Historic, unprecedented, and not over. Tonight, major wildfires are burning across Oregon, torching thousands of acres and forcing people to run from their homes.
So we woke up to quite a surprise this morning. We are in a thick haze of smoke, and it's crazy because we were just saying how this is the best campsite we've ever stayed in at this state park. It's so beautiful. I just extended our stay to be there a week, And then last night there were strong gusts of winds, historic record winds.
Yesterday, the fire had destroyed 300,000 acres. Ferocious winds tripled that number, and now more than 924,000 acres are burned. This map gives you an idea of what we're talking about when we say much of Oregon is on fire.
So we were almost a little bit afraid of maybe a tree coming down on us. Michael was outside putting away chairs and stuff. It was pretty freaky. The kids didn't know anything was going on. They weren't afraid. They slept good, but Michael and I had a hard time sleeping. And then this morning we woke up and the sky is gray orange and the sun or the moon, I couldn't even tell what it was red. And on top of it all, Olive fell. She was standing on one of our white cabinets that we use as a seat, so not even high up, but she fell off that. She was just goofing around a little bit. She's still clumsy, she's a toddler, and she braced herself with her left arm. I'm afraid that it could be fractured, so I think she needs an x-ray. You guys remember she had a small fracture back when we were in Phoenix from falling off the bed, her other arm. So we've got COVID-19, we've got historic winds, we've got smoke and ash blowing through the air, and we've got a possible arm injury with Olive. So today I'm feeling super stressed. RV life obviously isn't all butterflies and rainbows. Today it's especially not. But we just woke up and I called an orthopedic doctor right away. They said we need to have a confirmed fracture. It's different for babies. It's not quite a fracture. Anyway, we have to come to this walk-in clinic, which of course I'm anxious about because of COVID-19 exposure. We could always check in theory, and wait outside, but we can't wait outside because of smoke inhalations. So wish us luck. Hopefully her arm is just, you know, she bonked it and it's fine. She's complaining about it enough that we need to have it at least checked out. Olive, how are you doing? You gonna go see the doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah? She saw the doctor on Daniel Tiger, so she knows what's going on and what we're gonna do. Okay, wish us luck. That's the hospital right there, so if we need x-ray, cast, all that stuff, it might be able to happen there. What is it, Olive?
Cool.
She said it's a tent. So that's the COVID-19 receiving tent, I guess, which doesn't make me feel very calm. I mean, at least there's no one there. Okay, how is it the wrong building? This is the walk-in clinic, and behind me is the tent, and there are people there. That's the hospital right there, and we have to walk through that tent with the red and white stripes. So I can see ashes blowing through the air. I forgot to mention the reason we have to go into the hospital is because Olive needs an x-ray. We need to see if her arm is fractured. Look at you. You do. Echo.
Many people in Lincoln County don't have power.
For some, the power has been out since about 9 o'clock Monday night.
We're back at the hospital today because yesterday, right after we got our first x-ray, all of the systems in the hospital and a lot of Newport went down. We weren't able to really do anything moving forward with Olive's injury, so we just had to go back to the campsite and hang tight. It feels better today. The sky's not red, but the air quality is very dangerous. So I'm about to get Olive out of the car, put my mask on, and just run in there, and we'll get all the proper x-rays we need. Ready to get some more x-rays? Okay, I'm talking on my phone because it looks like my GoPro is broken. When it rains, it pours. We just got our x-rays done, and the lady at the hospital said it's good that we came now because in a couple of hours, everybody from Lincoln City Hospital, they're being evacuated and they're all coming to this hospital. So there's just gonna be an influx of sick, injured people coming into this hospital here. So it's good that we came when we did.
Evacuation orders are in effect for some areas off Highway 18, and Highway 18 is closed at milepost 7.
Christ as a magic can be controlled. Stronger than 1, stronger than 10, stronger than 100 men.
We're all together in the minivan. We're driving to Portland because that's where we have to go in order to get Olive looked at by pediatric orthopedics. Apparently there's no one on the coast anywhere near us that would look at a 2-year-old for a broken arm. I don't know why. It seems really strange to me. I called the orthopedics department at the hospital myself, and they told me the same thing, that we have to go to Portland. Portland's 2.5 hours away from Newport. Newport is finally starting to clear up with the smoke. Right now, it's only considered dangerous for sensitive groups, but that's much safer than it was just yesterday. It was hazardous. So being in Newport would be much better for us. Going into Portland means we're driving through evacuation ready zones. There's still huge fires burning outside of Portland. I tried to find other places we could go, but this is the option. This is what we have to do. So we decided we didn't want to split up. We decided to try to find a hotel and not try to bring the RV with us, and because then we would have to be separate. And we left the Airstream at the campground, and we plan to come back as soon as we can tomorrow. We didn't plan to come into Portland. We didn't want to come into Portland. We're driving through level 2 for evacuation status twice. We're saying to each other, any moment we can just go back to Newport and just not do Olive's appointment. We also know she needs a cast and she needs to be looked at by a doctor. So it's just a very weird predicament we're in right now. We hope we're doing the right thing. We have an alert on our phone that's gonna tell us where the fire is. And if the fire starts to get close, we'll jump in the car and we'll drive away.
Deal?
Yeah, deal.
I'm just happy we're together. We'll stick together.
Olive just wants another cracker.
We all have different priorities that we're managing.
Garbage bottle, and there's gonna get fire on that garbage bottle.
Yeah, there's no fire here, so don't worry about that. This is just smoke.
Maple's worried about the garbage bottle outside, the empty bottle inside of the road.
Getting fire on it.
You were thinking about that bottle's feelings, Maple?
Yeah.
That's very thoughtful. You're worried about the garbage.
Well, about a mile from our hotel, there's an evacuation place. So that means that people are being evacuated from these towns that are too close to the fire. They're being evacuated to right where our hotel is. So on the one hand, that makes me feel better because it's like we're in the place that people are being moved to. That's kind of how it was in Newport too. There's a fire above Newport to the north of us, and people are being evacuated from Lincoln City down into Newport. So that's what I keep telling myself. We're in places where people are being evacuated to. It seems like we're on the right side of that equation. But it's still too close for comfort, way too close for comfort. Cheese. We're at this really impressive looking children's hospital. We drove up a big hill to get here, and it's called the Dornbecker Children's Hospital. We're gonna go have a pediatric orthopedic specialist look at Olive's arm. Fishy!
When we do this, it's super hard.
Sure, Maple. My secret to doing puzzles is to do all the edge pieces first. All the edge pieces, and then you have the border.
It's green! Leaving Portland now. We got in and out of here. We got all of her cast. Everything went pretty smoothly. It's just really, really, really smoky here, but the evacuations didn't go any further last night while we were sleeping or anything. The air is also somewhat clearer than we left it in Newport, so we're going back to a little bit clearer air. Everyone's doing good. The girls had a ton of fun being in a hotel. It was just something different. And Olive's fracture isn't a big deal. It's just a tiny fracture. I couldn't even see it on the x-ray, but she needs a cast, again, like last time, more to protect herself from more falling, because she falls all the time. We just have the cast on for 3 weeks, and we can go pretty much anywhere to get it off. The doctor wasn't concerned at all about it healing, so that's really good news. Okay, that alert that just went off on our phones is the same alert we got yesterday on the way up here. and it means that we've just entered a level 2 evacuation zone. So anyone who lives around here where we're driving through right now, they're packed and ready to go at a moment's notice if it hits level 3. All right, we're gonna see how the Airstream did without us. I hope it wasn't too lonely. It was all by itself. Last night, Olive said, I miss Airstream. This campground is right on the beach, and we haven't even seen it because we got here, went to bed, woke up, and everything was different. We're at our favorite campsite we've ever been to on all of our travels, and we haven't been able to experience it fully, and we don't even know what the beach is like. We love what we saw that first day before we went to bed. Okay, everything looks the same.
Nothing terrible happened?
No. You know, we've never just like left the Airstream. Have we? I can't think of a time that we've done that. We put the Airstream in storage, but we've never just left the Airstream and gone somewhere else.
We've talked about it always being part of our evacuation plan, like going to a hotel. Good to be back home.
Yeah, it does feel good. It's cold though. We should put the heater on. Kind of hard being in the hotel room. It was a little crowded. And also, since the last time we've been in a hotel, the girls have grown a lot. So no one really wanted to be in the crib, and 2 beds wasn't quite enough. And I was like on the floor, then the bed, then putting Olive in the crib. But we were just playing musical beds for a couple hours before everyone finally fell asleep. You could say, hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa.
So the very nice ranger that helped us has come back to give us more information and brought something for the girls.
Oh, awesome.
What happened?
Hi, girl.
That's Rod. He's a ranger. He brought something for us.
Oh, what? What is it?
Do you want to see? Do you want to come out?
Yeah.
Hi, Lyndon.
Hi, Papa.
Brought you some stuff from the Junior Ranger program.
Oh.
Why don't you girls stand on that side of the table so he can show you?
You might want to walk around and you may find some like rocks and stuff, but you know, we have agates and different things, but a lot of times when you pick them up they look like that.
Hey!
Then if you take those and you can polish them and put them in a rock polisher, look at how they turn out.
Look at the difference.
Look at the difference between after you polish them. And then there's a
tattoo.
J.R. Beaver tattoo that you can put on.
What do you say, Lyndon?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she'll look cute with a tattoo, huh?
Yeah.
I hope you guys have had fun here at South Beach State Park, and thanks for visiting us.
Daddy.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Rod.
No problem.
I was just telling the camera this is probably my favorite site we've ever camped at.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We love it. We want to come back because, you know, the night we got here, then everything changed.
Mom, can I do my tattoo?
Sure.
Who gave you the tattoo?
The nice man.
Yeah, he's what's his job?
You go to protect kids.
Yeah, kind of.
What's he called?
Ranger.
Yeah, what do rangers do?
Protect trees.
Yeah. I think this is how you do it.
What is it?
Baby, get this. Here.
Wow.
What is it, Lyndon?
A tattoo.
What is it a tattoo of? What's the picture?
A squirrel. But look. I got a tattoo. You want one? Oh. Olive, do you want a tattoo?
Well, it is with mixed feelings that we have to move on. We've been in South Beach State Park for almost a week now, and we really haven't been able to enjoy what I think is probably my favorite campsite ever. Nature is the backyard. When you walk into the site from the road, it just goes back and back. It has a nice space with a picnic table right next to the site, but then when you get to the back of the site, it's kind of like a shared backyard for the 4 or 5 sites on this road. The sites are so big that no one really goes in there unless they have little kids. Basically, we have this whole big field to ourselves. Kids can run around. Sometimes we come to a campsite and we have to put our minivan in overflow parking, and that's the case here, but overflow parking is right there. And there's even a little shortcut to it. So one side's a parking lot, so there's only one possible neighbor here, and they're not here now, but even when they were here, they're behind all these trees, so it's still a very secluded site. I've since hitched up the Airstream because we're going to get going, but this site was so big and straight, I was able to back straight in and didn't even have to unhitch the van. I actually did unhitch the van just because I wanted to experience our beautiful Airstream windows without a van right in front of us. I do hope we get to come back. I'm going to try to find a site like this again. You may think that's a beautiful fog from the ocean, and I wish it was, but unfortunately it's hazardous level smoke.
How's it going?
Now that we have a composting toilet, I just dump one big valve, all the water comes out at once. Before, when I had to first dump sewage and then make sure I had enough gray water to flush behind that, it was kind of a big operation. Since I'm basically just dumping gray water, I can get all of it out in a minute.
Kind of looks like you just hooked it up to the same thing you just took it out of.
Yeah, that's the storage tube. This is the combiner valve. I don't even think it's very expensive. It's basically just a valve that fits over the existing output hose.
Whoa! Oops.
Yeah, I forgot it was full. I wanted to show you how easy it was. Don't do
Ew,
that.
I'm going back in the car.
All right. Good thing I had the gloves on.
Yeah, we're all good. We've got bigger hazards to contend with at the moment anyway.
Okay, I keep all the dirty attachments in here. That way I just know this entire storage compartment is gross, and I always use gloves to touch it. It's basically just a bunch of adapters. Every campground we go to has a different system, and so some combination of these has always allowed me to hook up to the sewer. So in this case, I'm just gonna use something that I can shove down into the hole and then put a rock over it or something and then just let it drain. Both of our tanks drain through the same tube, and then you put this valve over that, and then we can just open it up. And it's gonna let out both tanks.
I hear it.
It's still considered gray water, and also it's a lot faster to get all of this out of the tanks because I don't have to flush it. When we had sewage, I would have to drain the sewage first, using a lot of water, and then use a whole flush behind that to get the sewage out of this hose. So this just makes it a one-step process instead of a 2 or 3-step process. And done, it only took a minute.
All right. Okay, back in the car, and then we're off to find some fresher air. It looks like just a foggy day here, but no, this is actually smoke. So we're out of here. Apparently we'll be driving through a stage 3 evacuation zone. So we're gonna be driving through a place where people have been evacuated from their homes.
Okay, here we go. Newport has this really cool mid-century bridge that Michelle loves, and we've been driving across it a few times. The towers look really cool, but it's almost completely enveloped in smoke today.